So hi, my name's Anthea. Can you hear me? Yeah. And I like to walk around. I just noticed. So I hope that's okay. I will go back there sometimes, but I like to walk around. So fantasy. Why is fantasy? I'm going to be talking about. When Mark asked me to speak about fantasy, I was like, I'm not a fantasy expert. But then I was like, how does fantasy relate to my life? And when I think about fantasy, it relates to my life because I work with play in my work. I'm an artist. I work with play in coming up with situations in the public space. So fantasy, why do we have fantasies? We have fantasies in our mind often to escape reality, yes, but often a necessary ingredient to survive reality. We have to sometimes engage in fantasy, like a book. We go and we read a book and we step away from the world. It's like going into another space in another time, yes? And so it helps us survive the real world. So fantasy and reality are these wonderful things that actually connect and support each other in such a beautiful way. So I'm going to just use this clicker thing and move on, because I don't think I have much time. Yeah. So this picture here actually came from a work that I wanted to do. It came from two ideas. But before I get to that, there is a definition that I found. There were two definitions that I found of fantasy, and I kind of lumped them together. The one is the activity of imagining impossible or improbable things, and the other one was follows rules of its own making. And I think that kind of relates to what I do in my work that I do, which is what I'm going to be talking about. So this thing of imagining something that is impossible or improbable in the brain and then actually making it happen. So I go into places and I see the rules of the game that currently exist, and then I change those rules to make the fantasy happen. Does that make sense? So with this example of the jumping into the rugby game, at that time in my life, I was obsessed with this guy. His name was Yves Klein, and he was obsessed with this guy. And he wanted to become this guy, this man. And he was obsessed with the color blue. There's actually a paint named after this guy, this Klein blue, that he was obsessed with.
What's his name?
Yves Klein. And he used to have exhibition openings, and he used to make the drinks. When you come to the exhibition, he used to make them blue, so you would pee blue for like a week afterwards. Obsessed with blue. And he wanted to immerse himself in this guy. And so he did. He jumped off this building. He jumped off for real the one time when he broke his leg. But then he created this image, which is actually a fake image. His friend actually had to put a mattress there, and he jumped into the mattress. It's actually a photo montage. But this is called Leap into the Void. So I was looking at that, and I was also watching a lot of rugby at the time. I don't know why. I like the aesthetics of sport. I don't really follow sport so much, but I really like the aesthetics of it. So I was watching a lot of rugby, and so the two kind of came together and created this, which is called Playing with Pirates. So I went to the Pirates Rugby Club in Parkland and asked the junior rugby team if they would be keen to make this happen. I did a drawing, and I was like, what do you think? I'm the ball. What if I'm the ball? And they were like, wow, that's so cool, let's do it. And I was like, and they were like, we can also do this. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And we did it. And we also did this. And it was terrifying and we saw. And we also did a lot of that. Which was really fun. And so they played. They got into the fantasy. They got into, oh, well, let's make this real. Let's make this happen. And they, instead of just asking why, they asked, why not? Why can't we change the rules of the game? We play the same rugby game every weekend. But why don't we play a different game with a human as a ball? Okay. So the thing about fantasy play is that you step into another world. You step into another reality. So when I was studying, I read a whole bunch of things. And there was this guy called Johan Huizinga, who was a Dutch historian and a theorist. He died in 1948. But he wrote this book called Homo Ludens, which is a take on Homo sapiens, which means man the player. And in this book he speaks about the importance of play in our lives and how it really facilitates learning, it facilitates growth, not just for kids, but also for adults as well. And when we play, he came up with this theory that play happens in a magic circle. Sorry, I didn't want to move with the car. But basically play happens in this magic circle, in a magic circle of play. I don't know if you've ever seen kids play in the playground. They are completely immersed. They know the rules of the game, this, and you can only tap this twice, and then that means that. And then we do this and that. They are completely immersed in their world of play. Right? They are completely in it. And have you ever seen anyone go up to a kid and say, hey, why are you playing? Why are you doing that there? Why are you building that sandcastle? Why are you climbing that tree? No, right? Because that would be the spoil sport. Then you would break that circle of play, right? So just with this thing of the circle of play in mind, and this magic circle of play, I'm going to tell you a quick story. When I was studying, I was lucky enough to go to Switzerland. And in Switzerland, we were studying this theme of accidents, and how accidents and mistakes can often lead to create work later on. So I was having a kind of creative block, and so I didn't want to stay in the studio all the time, so I used to pack a bag and put a sandwich and a tripod and my camera, and I used to go out into the mountains and hike and look for accidents. And the one day I went and did this, took Finikida up to the mountains, walking, and then through this forest, I saw this wide expanse of snow, this incredibly beautiful expanse of snow. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go there. And so I was walking, but then there were some obstacles in my path. There was a fence and there was the forest. And so I had to jump over the fence and walk through the forest, which I did, but then landed into snow up to my chin. And they did tell me to go walking with a stick. You're supposed to go walking with a stick so you can see how deep the snow is. So I landed into snow up to my chin and literally had to like swim out of the snow. And that's what led to this work. Here. I'm just going to let it play. I was imagining that this was a swimming pool, that this was my magic circle of play that I was playing in, and the fantasy I would say was that I was back home in South Africa, sunny South Africa, swimming in a pool. And then what's wonderful about this magic circle is that you can include others in it. So I decided to create a snow swimming team. That totally bought into this game and wanted to play as well. And so we swam up in the mountains there to be doing our warm-up, and your marks, it said go, and we swam in the snow. Yes. So yeah, it's much more fun to play with others and to get them to believe in this fantasy, in this play, in this game. But I came back to South Africa and I did this, which was by myself. and I rode the 94.7 cycle challenge. People think I did this on Sunday. I didn't. I did this 10 years ago, in 2006 actually. It was one of the first works I did when I came back to South Africa. And I rode the cycle race for an hour, going nowhere, obviously. So embracing failure. And this work is really important because remember that circle of play, there's also the spoil sports that come and they break the circle of play by asking questions like, hey, why are you doing that? You know, like, why are you doing that? What's the point? And so people that were riding, there were some people who were really upset. They were riding past me and going, hey, you've got no wheels. You fucking loser. Where are you going? Why are you doing this? It goes against everything. It's wrong. It's wrong. You're not allowed to do this. Yeah? So I don't know if any of you are thinking of these questions right now. Because a lot of the cyclists were thinking these. They trained hard. They trained for a year to ride the thing and to win or to lose or some kind of outcome, yes, at the end. What is the point? Why is she doing that? What a waste of time and energy. It's not necessary, it's not rational, it's not functional. Completely useless activity. It does not make sense. It is a fail, or nailed it, which someone like drove past actually nailed it. I love that. So, and this is the crux. Just to go back here. This is kind of the crux, I think, of fantasy and play. It's just by us asking those questions, asking those very questions, we need to become aware that we have been trained very specifically to believe in a specific way that the world runs, yes? That this is how it works. This is how the race works. This is how the game of life works. Is that you come in and you're a player and you get a number and you try hard and then you either win or you lose. And there's very little middle ground, you know, or what if, or maybe. And I think fantasy and play and make-believe are very important in that they ask us to take a step out of that race and imagine alternative possibilities. So that's very important in my work. And also I think in play and make-believe in the activity of imagining alternatives. Because it invites difference, yeah? It invites other ways of thinking, other ways of being in the world. Sorry, the slides are a bit dark, but it's fine. Some of these, I worked with some other people in creating these strange, useless performances. This is the Water Ballet Divas performance that we did for the Johannesburg Art Fair in 2009, and we went to Nelson Mandela Square and we did synchronized swimming in the fountain. That was really, really fun. And we pretended that, once again, obviously obsessed with swimming, I don't know why, but we pretended that the fountain was an actual swimming pool and played there. The fountain was very serious performance, you know, because it's serious play. You have to be completely in it, and yeah, it's fantastic. Taking people to another world of what Sandton City is usually used for. And then in Cape Town for the Infecting the City festival, which is a public art festival they have every year. I was commissioned to do a performance in celebrating the treasures of Cape Town. And so one of the treasures that I'd worked with the year before are actually the cleaners. So I've been working with them twice. And what I did is I learned to be a cleaner with the cleaners in Cape Town. For a month I was a cleaner. I had my designated area, I had an outfit, and I cleaned the streets for a month. And then we created together a performance called the #1 Undercover Unexpected Cleaning Agency. And what we would do is we would clean. We would clean very efficiently. So we would arrive in a place in a row with vacuum cleaners and with all of the cleaning things, earbuds, everything. And we would go through St. George's Mall throughout a week and do 2 performances a day, and we would pitch up and we would clean. And we would have a whole routine and everything that we came up with, and go clean, and then we'd go clean. And if you were sitting in the place, you would be cleaned too. And everything was just clean. And then we would pack up and leave, you know. And by the end of it, by the end of the performance, by the end of that week at least, there was a man, and I'll never forget this. It was so beautiful. There was a man who always, every day, he would walk to work and he would see us, and then on the last day, he just put down his briefcase. And then he stood there and he went, clean me! Thank you. It was the best thing, compliance. I'm going to work to make money so I can buy more things, or whatever it is, or live, or whatever. And then in that moment, he just separated from that, just for an instant, stepped into the world of fantasy or play, and then stepped back out. And just for that moment, it was such a beautiful moment. Anyway, cool. What else? Oh, okay. So, all right. This thing of uselessness, of failure, of this thing of useless activity. This thing that we always have to make something that's useful. Kind of reminds me of a student that I was teaching at Vega. Got my first full-time job. Actually, I have been working. Ross, I did work. I got a full-time job at Vega for 3 years, and I was working there, and I had this wonderful. I taught 3rd years, and in 3rd year they've got a brief that they have to design themselves. They have to design it completely from scratch by themselves, which is very difficult. It's a very open kind of. There's no rules. You have to make your own rules, which is very hard for them to do. So I would give them obstructions and things that they would have to work with, and most of them did it except for one student who didn't do anything. And then a month before the hands, and I caught him in the passage and I said, Kyle, what's going on? Where's your work? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do every day? He was like, I procrastinate. I said, well, what do you do? What is that? What is it? Write me a list of all the procrastination. And in that way I got him to work. And he wrote me a list, and then he came the next day and just left it on my desk. He was like laughing. And I read it and laughed, like, all of the things that he didn't do instead of the creative work. But then he got interested in this and collecting. He became a collector of procrastination. And so thereby turned this thing of procrastination into material for work. So something that was usually in the realm of inevitable failure, which is seen as, oh, you're a procrastinator, that's terrible, you don't do anything. He turned that into work to make something. And he made this fantastic pencil set called the Constructive Procrastination Pencil Set, which was 50 pencils or 49 pencils. And on each pencil, he wrote down what he did instead of doing creative development work. Play Angry Birds, lure someone into a religious debate, for inspiring desktop apps, take a trip down memory lane, cry, take a shower, all of these wonderful things. Channel surf, drive to Woolies garage, blame someone, update your status, all of these things. And each one of those pencils, he said, could have been used to come up with an idea throughout the whole year, or draw, or do something, but instead he did all of these things. And he got the job that he wanted. He got this job at Hunter's Forest, I think. Yeah, and he won an award, the D&AD Award in London, and I won an award for being a good teacher. So everyone is happy. Woohoo! Yay! So a really fantastic way to look at procrastination and look at failure. And isn't that a wonderful thing about creativity and being human, is that we have the capacity to always look at these things in a different way, and the possibility to use them for work. And there's his business card. That's how he got the job. Yes. Okay, and finally I talk about this project. So in the bio that went out for this CreativeMornings thing, it also said that I had a fantasy to be all of these different things, because I couldn't decide on what I wanted to be when I grew up. I still can't decide. I'm learning lots of different things to be. But this project was in response to winning that award, the Saturday Camp Artist Award for Performance Art. And that award is basically, they give you time and they give you support to create work for the National Arts Festival, and you are included in the main program. And the festival, the National Arts Festival, takes place in a small little town called Grahamstown. We've been there. Yay! Good, cool. So I wanted to create a work that was part of Grahamstown, because what usually happens in the Grahamstown Festival, there's this mass exodus of people who actually live in Grahamstown. They all leave and they go away, and then we go in and watch stuff and then leave as well, and then they come back. So I wanted to make a work that was part of Grahamstown and that showed the people that lived and played in Grahamstown. So what I did is I joined 6 different teams, and I learned 6 different things over the course of 3 months. So I went to live there for 3 months. And I learned how to play the bagpipes, how to ballroom dance, how to sing, how to play chess, how to play soccer. I got my yellow belts in karate. And then someone was like, will you come and challenge Geneva after the performance? I was like, sure. So I went to Geneva and I learned how to do Swiss wrestling, how to cycle in the velodrome, which is terrifying, don't do it. You know when they cycle on the wall like that? You know that? Learned how to play the alpine horn and learned how to play ice hockey. So learned all of these different skills, and the rule of the game that changed, the only rule was that it was just me versus the whole team. So I didn't have a team, it was just me. So we played the game exactly how it is played, except the only rule that changed was just me as a team. So it was me versus the whole battle reenactment army of England. I was representing the Scottish Rebels with my bagpipe. Me versus two ballroom dancing teams. Me versus two choirs. A full, very important chess team in Grahamstown. A full soccer team. 8 karate black belts. It was hectic. And then Swiss wrestlers, a velodrome cycling team, alpine horn team, and a full junior ice hockey team, which was really fun, that last one.
You won.
They won. But that's a very good question, because it relates back to this thing of winning. What does winning mean, actually? And that's really the one of the concepts about this work, is to question what does it mean to win. So the concept was, what if we were to imagine learning from people, and learning from people who are different from you, and stepping into a world that you don't really know, and the learning is the winning. And we all agreed, all of the fellow players agreed on that during the process of this work, was that the winning didn't really matter at the end, even though we all played to win. We all really played to win. That was the rule of the game. We really had to play like the kids. You have to be in it to win it, you know. But the outcome was like completely unbalanced, obviously. Grahamstown won 68, I won 8 points, I think. No, 8 points. I got 2 in full karate. Okay? So those are all the different people that I worked with. These are all the different teams that you can't really see. One of my alpine horn players contacted me the other day, wishing me luck. Oh, awesome. So we're still in contact. Yeah, I'm going to tell you one brief little anecdote from this, and it's about audience participation and the factor of playing together. So in this particular battle, which was Anthea Moys versus Mara Football Club, which happened on a field, and basically the game was 30 minutes long, and it was 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. 10 minutes to play, 10-minute break, 10 minutes to play. And we were playing. I wasn't doing too well. It was not going so well. But then at halftime, about 25 people from the audience came up onto the field and they said, "We've got a team. We want to help Anthea." So we were like, "Cool, that's amazing. You have to ask the ref." So we went to ask the ref, and we had some extra t-shirts, and they all came onto the field. And there were artists and weird people with funny shoes, and like they couldn't run properly. It was crazy. And I had like 5 goalies, but Mara still won. Still won 12-0. It was so much fun. But it was so much fun. And as I was walking off the field, we were all walking off the field like laughing. And this one guy overheard him saying, he was like, "This is the best Grahamstown festival I've ever been to, because I got to make work too. And I got to participate in making something, even though, the art is usually seen as something that you go and watch, and then you clap at the end, and then you're supposed to go and think about it or whatever. But he got to actually play, and it's in the playing and the doing and the making that the meaning becomes evident. So even though some of these things seem useless and frivolous and kind of like maybe they don't mean much, but actually there is meaning. Even though it is useless and frivolous, there is meaning in it, and the meaning is in the doing. And the team expands. So, may you continue to imagine impossible and probable things and follow the rules of your own method.
What about emotional investment? So I'm hearing what you're saying, and surely there's things that you enjoyed more, that you possibly were like, "Oh, I've worked so hard at karate, I really want to feel like do you feel that by having emotional investment, do you feel like you were a winner in some ways? Like it wasn't really, I know it's not really about failing and winning, but do you feel like learned all these amazing skills and you can realize what you've got now.
So yeah, this emotional thing, it got quite interesting. I don't know if I would do the project again. Because it is emotionally taxing to lose all the time. You know, like even during the rehearsals, I was like, oh my god, okay, so this is what it means.
Because you've still got to
And I really tried, and I really tried, especially with chess. I'm so bad. I was really bad at it. I was so bad. But I really tried. So I got it with one game. You have to. I've been playing for like, and I've been online chess and everything. And I did actually win one online game. My chess master, my teacher, and I showed him the game, and he was like, yes, you've won this game. He was in shock. But that thing of like really wanting to win and failing, it is emotional taxing. And right, I don't know if I would get it. Also the ice hockey was also very hard. The velodrome cycling was terrifying. It was, and singing in front of 300 people. Like this, like it's one like singing Ave Maria. I don't know what the hell I chose that song. Why? Why? You know? So yeah, it doesn't answer the question. Yeah. Okay.
You sing Ave Maria.
Hi, I've just been thinking, and it's the first time I've considered this. Have you, throughout your work, both as an artist and in terms of your career and how you self-define yourself, always been in a state of trying to resist categorization and resist stasis? So I think there's something about your work that's about not wanting to define as one singular thing and keeping things in a constant state of becoming. And I think that seems to be some kind of necessary element for you in terms of opening up the space to be creative. And I guess my question is that for you a necessary element in order to be creative? Can one be creative without that?
So the necessary space of becoming, yes, totally identify with that. I get bored quite quickly. And I have a lot of ideas, and then I test them out and then, oh no, that's really cool, right. So I present them about 20 different ideas of what you're all going to do today. And then I'll scrap them all. So move quite quickly through things. And then, so I think it is that space of becoming and learning a lot all the time and wanting to be in a state of flux. But that is very challenging as well. It's challenging in the way that, people want something that you are this. On your business card, you must be this thing. So that I know what to do, that I can employ you, whatever. Or if you go to a gallery, you must make a thing that does this, you know. You must make this thing that it can give us money, so it does this and that. You know, like, it's a very world. Yeah.
It's down creative.
No, it's hard. But it's hard, you have to do both. I don't know how to do it. I'm still figuring it out. I don't know. Tell me.